Listen to the Gospel Connection and more every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m., only on Worship Center Radio, Detroit's number one for gospel.
Plant a seed and watch it grow. $1 is all it takes to make a difference. Visit www.worshipcenterradio.net and click the banner on the right-hand side and sow a seed to Worship Center Radio, the platform of champions.
From Detroit to the nations, you are listening to the world's number one Christian station, Worship Center Radio, the platform of champions.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Gospel Connection with Bishop Andre Woods. I'm Anthony Howard, in for Bishop Woods, who is on assignment in Chicago, and we send in a shout out to him, and he will call in a little later, I'm sure. I spoke with him this morning. What a beautiful Tuesday morning, and as the song says, they that wait. You know, I'm one that had to kind of control myself when it gets good, and that was getting mighty good. And right now, we want you to know our phone lines are open, 248-796-8241. You could call in and talk with us. We'd love to hear from you. And we're going to go now to one of my favorite selections, Without God, I Could Do Nothing. We'll be right back.
My strength
And welcome once again to the Gospel Connection with Bishop Andre Woods. I'm Anthony Howard in for Bishop Woods. You know, I really enjoy the sweet sounds of Renee Thomas singing, "Without God I Could Do Nothing." And that is a pathetic message. That's one that all of us need to get, that for it is without God we can do nothing. It is like being on a ship without a sail. You know, ships without a sail are tossed to and fro. They have no direction. Without God, you could do nothing. You know, many things are going on around the country, and one of the good things here at the Gospel Connection is that we try to keep you as informed as we can, much of what's going on in the community around Detroit and the country. So today, as I mentioned, Bishop Woods is in Chicago. He's been attending these festivities with Reverend Dr. Maceo Woods. Now, I'm not going to try to tell you all that's going on in Chicago, but I will tell you a good delegation of Detroiters made their way there to help celebrate with Bishop Maceo Woods, Reverend Dr. Maceo Woods, a good delegation of folks. And the Gospel Music Workshop of Detroit, they were represented there. Dr. Iris Taylor and many others were there from all over the country. But I'm going to let Bishop Woods share with you about his trip when he calls in on next week on the Gospel Connection. We're going to go now to another selection. Going to pick it up a little bit. I'm going all the way with Jesus. Nothing can ever stop me. We'll be right back. We have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Well, God bless you this morning. This is Bishop Woods calling in.
God bless you.
Yes, sir. I hear the broadcast is hot and sizzling.
Listen, I
God bless
like
you
this song.
morning.
Bless you. I like that song, Going All the Way with Jesus. I can play that every week.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, that's one of our signature tunes on that compilation CD from the heart and soul of Bishop Woods. All those compositions on that CD. I thank God for the privilege that he has blessed me with such inspiration and have some of the greatest singers to share and help get that music out.
Yes. Well, Bishop, tell us. I was telling everyone. I said Bishop Woods is on assignment in Chicago.
Oh yeah, man! I'm telling you, we are here in Chicago, Illinois, and when I tell you all of Detroit, I wish the entire country could have been here to witness this celebration on last night. You know, we got a little joke out, Pastor Maceo Woods and myself. A lot of folks say because our last names are the same, we're relatives. That's my cousin. You know, that's my big brother, my cousin, my uncle. He's all of them. He's just a wonderful, wonderful mentor in music. And we celebrated with him last night 53 years
Wow.
of the Gospel Supreme concert. The Christian Tabernacle Concert Choir have done 53 consecutive concerts every year. This time of year, and listen, man, when I tell you, you would have to been there live to really get the whole essence of the experience
Yes.
of gospel music. First of all, Maceo, you know, and we're going to do a very special program just on Maceo Woods himself. Over the years, he was, you know, originally one of the first to be on Savoy Records years ago with the Christian Tabernacle Church Choir. And, you know, the late George Jordan.
Yes. Yes. Of the Majestics,
who
right?
wrote Step to Jesus and God Won't Fail. I mean, these guys are in the National Baptist hymn books.
Yes.
And there's a lot of history that's there with Pastor Maceo Woods and the choir and the wonderful songs that he's written and the Lord will provide. I mean, I can just start going down the list of the songs that he's put out. And of course, the one and only that soprano that was very famous nationwide, still is. You're talking about Doris Sykes.
Yes.
She's still on the scene, and you know, the name of Jesus is so sweet. I love to call that name, and I'm telling you, they were there. And we had a delegation from Detroit. They were there from California. They were there from, North Carolina. They were there from Indiana. They were there. I mean, it was just a wonderful. Chicago was there. So many of the Chicago legends were on hand to celebrate with Pastor Woods, and certainly it was a celebration to be remembered. Gerald Dixon of the tenors, the three tenors, he was there as a special guest. Dorothy Norwood was there.
Really?
And of course, one of his sons in the ministry, Ricky Dillard, and New Generation, New G was there. I mean, man, they turned it out. I mean, it was just a musical feast, and so many musicians from across the country, and some of the greats there, our good friends there in Chicago, the one and only Fred Nelson. You know Fred Nelson.
Oh yeah, I know Fred.
Second from First Church of Deliverance. We all grew up around each other, and he was there. I mean, Pastor Eric Thomas of Greater Harvest. You know, he was one of the great musicians with Dr. Clay Evans and Fellowship, and as well as First Church, and now he's pastoring. He was there. DeAndre Patterson. I mean, Apostle Donald Alfred. I mean, it was so many. I know I'm going to miss somebody. Robert Wooten, Malcolm Williams. I mean, the roll call, they was there, and what a great fellowship we had on last night. And I'm telling you, the music, not only their uniformity, their presentation. I mean, man, it was. I'm going to get the DVD and
Great.
and get some of the information, and it's going to be something to share. I mean, it was a classic musical feast, and I'll tell you, we had some church up in there last night, man. I'm telling you, I've been fired up. We were up to almost 3 o'clock this morning, just talking about the concert and just reliving the moments. And certainly, we congratulate Pastor and musician, composer. I posted something on Facebook, a picture of him, Maceo Woods, for all of his contribution. And when you mention gospel music in this city, in Chicago, or anywhere across the country, even the world, you cannot leave out the name Maceo Woods because he's contributed. I mean, they got something like 20, 35 recordings out, albums, CDs over the years.
I got 5 of them.
So many great songs that we sang in Detroit, and so many of the great songs that you hear others singing around the world, they come right out of Christian Tabernacle with Pastor Maceo Woods. So, man, I'm telling you, it was a wonderful, 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 wonderful concert and a well-spent trip. I'm almost ready to stay another day. Yes, sir.
Well, that
Yes,
sounds
sir.
great. That's exciting. You know, when you were naming some of the selections, I don't know if this was a Maceo Woods selection, but I do know it's on one of their albums because oddly enough, I was going through some of my albums and I ran across about 6 Maceo Woods albums, and one of them had the song Until Then.
Until then.
Yes.
I know he did an arrangement of it because we got it, Dr. Charles Dix, we got it from them, and we started singing it here in Detroit and recording it as well. I'm trying to remember the writer because originally we got it from Pratt Tabernacle.
Okay.
From Pratt Tabernacle Church years ago. I was a little boy then, by the way. But that I remember so well that particular tune. And then the late Reverend Melvin Smothers, "Step to Jesus and everything will be all right."
Yes.
Step to Jesus, he'll make you like this and all. I mean, I ain't gonna start naming all the classics that they put out. They were the first ones to put out "Jesus Can Work It Out."
Okay.
If you let him. That was written by, of course, George Jordan, who was the minister of music at the Christian Tabernacle Church at that time. And they had put that out, of course, Gospel Politics, Dr. Charles Hayes, they picked it up and re-released that song with another twist to it, But they were the original Jesus Can Work It Out. It comes from Christian Tabernacle Church there with Reverend Dr. Maceo Woods and the Christian Tabernacle Concert Choir. And again, man, 53 years consecutively. So we celebrated him on last night, and I'm telling you, he directed, and I got to get this song because they did an arrangement of "The Lord is Mighty." Listen. It was just awesome. It was awesome. And I'm talking about real, pure gospel music, no frills. A lot of folks try to say traditional music of gospel. They just haven't heard the right folks sing. And then to this new generation, because there were some young musicians there, a lot of this stuff that they're hearing now from those kind of innovative writers and those legends of our day, it sounds like new music to them because they've never heard it in its purest form. So, I mean, what a treat it was for me. I mean, it just really, really, really kind of inspired me to continue. And he spoke to me and said, don't ever let that traditional style go. And then, of course, Dorothy Norwood came out and said the same thing, and she sung some of her great. I mean, it was just an awesome experience and just a musical inspiration.
Yes, and the really neat thing is that there's such a tight bond in gospel music between Detroit and Chicago. And,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And it's certainly the delegation from Detroit just helped continue that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's been going on for years. Way before we started the fellowship with the Gospel Music Workshop of America Detroit chapter and the GMAC Gospel According to Chicago, Brother Dennis Cole, and when they came to Detroit, when we did Detroit Remembers, and they got the idea and they came back to the Chicago and started the GMAC choir, and they go every year. So that every other year it's changed. Chicago comes to Detroit, and then the next year Detroit goes to Chicago. So we want to put that out there now, because we were talking on our way to Chicago about Chicago coming to Detroit in 2016. Detroit is coming to Chicago. That's what it is. We're going to be preparing and sharing with the Gospel Workshop of America and help pull a delegation to come to Chicago next year for our annual fellowship with the GMAC Mass Choir. They have a citywide mass choir here. And so, man, it would be an experience, and we're going to be talking about that as they come on the broadcast and other things. But let me remind you now, I'm jumping because I've just been excited up early this morning. I did a radio interview here with 10 a.m., and some of us talking about Natio and saying God bless you and making tribute. So they provided us an opportunity early this morning on the air. And but I want to remind all of Detroit and all of our friends there, don't forget this coming Friday night. We're going to be at the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 3600 Van Dyke. Dr. Sterling Jones, our host there, and the Fellowship of Music and Arts. We're going to be there on Friday starting at 7 o'clock, and we want you to come because at that time we're going to be sharing some information on the fellowship and some of the wonderful things that the fellowship is planning to do. And we want to include you, every musician, director, singer, whoever you are. If you just like gospel music, if you don't sing, if you don't play, whatever, come on out and join us. We got other ways that we can utilize your gifts, your talent, and whatever your expertise is. We're going to be looking for people to help us with public presentation. We're going to be systematizing some of our projects where we're going to have special project committees, and you might be the one to fit that committee, just want to come and share and work with us. And then, of course, it's a music-driven organization. There's no registration fee to come, and we're going to be sharing our vision and our mission and all of the wonderful things that we have on our itinerary in this year of 2015, and then we're going to give you some highlights and some synopsis of what's going to happen for 2016. It's going to be a grand year, and we're starting now preparing.
Yes.
We got this Friday night again at 7 o'clock. We want to invite everybody, and then of course, then by this week we'll be talking about the up and coming musician summit that's going to end our year this year, and some things that we're going to be doing that all of you listening can take a part in, and it's going to be a wonderful experience where you can come and share and fellowship with some of the greatest men and women on earth in music, in gospel music, who are willing to share their expertise, their experience, and we're going to be doing some one-on-one workshops. Oh, it's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And, we don't want to leave a stone unturned. We just want to make sure everybody's getting the word. And those of you listening, help us spread the word. You can go to Facebook, and if you want to join the Fellowship of Music and Arts, then hit us on Facebook, Fellowship of Music and Arts, right there. And if you want to email us, just email us at Fellowship of Music and Arts at yahoo.com. and just to send us a message, all your information, and we'll get back with you and make sure you are on our mailing list, our internet mailing list, so when we do our e-blast, we can include you and you can stay updated and know what the fellowship is doing so that you won't miss a beat. You'll be right there with us. And certainly we welcome everybody. Don't forget Friday night, 7 o'clock, meeting. We're going to do some special things. We're going to do some singing. We're going to do some sharing. We're going to have a little mini workshop, talk about music, and just do some dialogue. And you will experience a wonderful fellowship.
Yes, amen. Amen. Well, I'm glad that there's so much going on. It's a blessing to the community, and it is certainly all the
Yeah,
buzz
yeah.
around town, the Fellowship of Music and Arts.
Yeah, yeah. And let me say this to you, Anthony. I appreciate you being there today. And
Anytime.
one of the greatest things I noticed here in Chicago, and we were talking about it as we were sharing last night after the concert. The way we can pool our resources, and you would have to be here to experience how they support one another. I mean, there is great respect among great people who, within their own right, are musicians, and singers, and songwriters, and pastors, and they do what they do. But it's a wonderful thing to witness when you see others being a blessing to others, you know.
Yes.
When they're sharing and they're not too big and they're not too busy, but they take time out to give support one to another. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to witness. And like I said, I canned the room. I saw Bishop Larry Trotter was there. I mean, Bishop was there from Faith Folk in Love Church, Lucius Hall. I mean, there were so many ministers, pastors, as well as musicians from the Chicago area and from other places. And I met a lot of new friends last night, you know, in music, and folk just walking up to us. And, you know, Chicago's like second home to me because we've been coming here so many years, sharing with First Church and Fellowship Church back in the Rev. Clay Evans days. And,
Right.
Of course, his sister was there, Budella was there, and some of those great directors of our day. Listen, man, I'm telling you, you would have to have been here because I can't give it all to you at this time of the broadcast. But I just thank God that we were able to make the trip, have a safe trip here, and we'll be home when we get home. And but
Enjoy it.
I want everybody that's listening to the broadcast, go on YouTube. If you've never heard the name Maceo Woods, I challenge you to go on YouTube, and trust me, when you get to YouTube and put Maceo Woods and Christian Tabernacle, you're going to be on there for a while because they have so graciously put a lot of his work and a lot of the choir's work on YouTube so you can get an idea of who we're talking about, and maybe it'll jog your memory. Maybe you're singing some of his music and don't know whose music you're singing at your church or at different concerts. But just go on YouTube and put in Reverend Maceo Woods, and you're going to be blessed.
Yes, there's a lot of joy in his music, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So,
Yes,
so you don't know when you're coming back, huh? You just having such a good time.
Yeah, well, we'll be back soon. We'll be back soon. Between 9 and tomorrow, we'll be back in Detroit. But today we've got a little fellowship today here in Chicago later on this afternoon with some of the musicians and folk here, and we're going to take the time and share. I think Pastor Woods is going to be there, the Reverend DeAndre Patterson, and some of our friends here who we always come and share and visit with. We're going to have a time of sharing and exchange. And I thank God for that, because the networking and the exchange that you get is just, priceless. And to sit and to hear the wisdom and to glean and to learn, from these who shoulders we stand on.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's like going to school. You can't buy that. We gonna. It's an education that surpasses anything else a classroom could ever teach you. Just to sit across the table from such a legend and to just have him to pour out his wisdom and his experiences and his instruction, and just to share with us as young musicians and showing us, the ropes and the do's and the don'ts. And he always used to tell us, and he still tells us, I can help you to tell you where I've been, so you won't make the same mistakes in music, in the music industry that we made. So, man, I count it a joy and a privilege, and I'm going to have a story to tell, even more so by the time I get home.
Yes, that sounds great. Can hardly wait. And I know DeAndre Patterson used to come to Detroit quite frequently. At one time, he'd go over to Prayer Tabernacle, or Craig Memorial, I mean. Yeah,
he was there not long ago, just recently, and he'll be back soon, And so when you got friends like that, in gospel music or in the body of Christ, I mean, it's priceless, because it's an appreciation of one another that we need. We need to see the harmony and the fellowship and help others to see that, listen, we're not in competition.
Right.
Like Pastor Woods got up and said last night about all of those that came and have been supporting him over the years. We don't compete, we complete. We help complete one another. There's never been a competition between none of us. We just try to support one another and what everybody's doing, because we appreciate what God has put in you and you and you and you. And when you put it all together, we're just an unbeatable combination. And all the enemy wants to do is to separate us and keep folk divided, But and that's what the fellowship is all about, Anthony. That we're trying to say to music masters from wherever they are, that we can share our expertise and join our talents and gifts together and give God glory. I mean, and I tell people, if you don't like working with people, don't go to heaven. If you don't like nobody, because there don't be nowhere to hide, nowhere to go when we get to heaven. Why do we sing that song when we get to heaven? What a glorious day it's going to be when all God's children get to heaven, and all of that stuff. Listen, we got to start practicing that unity and love and fellowship right here on earth.
That's right.
So I'm excited, man. I guess you can hear, because I'm talking so fast. I'm just skipping all over everywhere.
Look, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, they ignited something. It's been a long time since I stopped going, because I don't like these concerts and musicals that are just competitive.
Right.
But man, they just stood flat-footed and sung, and Ricky Dillard, oh my God. That boy has a fresh anointing on him, and the choir. Folk don't like choir roles, but I want to tell you, every time you see Ricky Dillard, and some of these young musicians need to get that. They like singing Ricky Dillard's music, but y'all need to learn all the other lessons that he presents, as far as decorum and uniformity. I mean, how they look, man. I mean, they were so impressive. And just well groomed, and their presentation, of course, they can sing the walls down, and of course that Lillian Lord, and of course
they can shout the walls down too.
Oh man, they did. They wore me out. I thought they let call EMS for me. But I had a good time. good time.
Well, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. I mean, yeah, Ricky, did he did a recording at Second Ebenezer here in Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rick has always been an open, great guy to work with and to share with. And I thank God for our relationship over the years. He was up there waving his piano, and that song you played earlier with our God. Ricky called me and said, "Hey, do you mind if we do it?" I said, "Do it." They did on one of their recordings. They did their version of Without God, so I appreciate him for that.
Yes.
But they are a phenomenal singing aggregation who are well disciplined, and their uniformity, how they look and their stage presence. I mean, it's you can out there young musicians go to these places to get the exposure and take notes. Take notes and learn from the masters who are doing it on a whole nother level.
Yes.
So it was
yes.
enjoyable. Yeah, enjoyable.
Well, that's great. That's great. I'm
Yes,
glad to
sir.
hear that. And I'm sure that they're going to be, you're telling them to tune into the Gospel Connection, right?
Yeah, well, I told Rick, I'm on a, he's so busy, he's relocated. He's actually living in Washington now because
Oh, really?
he also works at the Ebenezer Church there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I sent
Yeah,
him a little note and asked him to call into my show. And,
Yeah.
but I didn't know he was at Donald Ville's old church.
Yeah, he's been moving around and he's there, so he commutes back and forth to Chicago quite a bit, but he's in Washington now, and we're gonna get him. We're gonna figure out his schedule. He's going to give us the time, your show, my show, so that we can at least talk to him and find out what's next for New G, because I mean they are heavy on the charts and they're doing really well, and it's exciting, to be able to touch somebody on that level, and who haven't got the big head. I mean, Rick is still. I mean, boy, we have so much fun. We go out to eat and just talk and share. We see each other in different cities. And I can thank God that he is one example of one who has never forgotten where he came from. So he's a humble guy. And you talk about somebody who's crazy and joyful, a jokester, Ricky Dillard. That's the guy right there.
Right.
He's a lot of fun. of fun.
Yes.
We praise God for that. Well, listen, man, I'm gonna let you wrap up the broadcast because I done talked all the time away.
That's all right. You gave us good information. You gave us good information.
And we're gonna give some more highlights maybe next week at another broadcast. But I'm gonna do something very special on Maceo Woods as well. But again, listeners, go to YouTube and pull up Maceo Woods, and you will be tremendously blessed. And look at the history there of who this great man is in gospel music.
Well, that's great. And I tell you what I'll do, my little contribution to your project, I will pull up my 5 albums and make certain that, I think it's 5, I might have more, but I'll make sure you have the music from those 5 albums to use.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, I'm gone, man. I got to get ready to go to this other place. But listen, to all of my listeners, thank you for joining us. Broadcast. We're there every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. But listen, if you missed the broadcast, you can catch us on YouTube and Facebook later on today. They're going to archive the show. And whatever you do, listen to Anthony Howard on Saturday. Gospel music the traditional way, 6 to 8 p.m. And join us. And y'all call and hit us on Facebook and YouTube and give us those things. We need your views. We need some numbers so we can know that you're out there supporting us.
Yes.
And we thank you in advance for all that you do. And tell everybody about the best kept secret in the world. That's the Worship Center Radio Network. Visit, go there and look at all the programming. The WorshipCenterRadio.net. Go there and check it out and help support what God is doing in the city of Detroit.
Thank you, Bishop. See you when
All
you
right,
get
God
back.
bless you. I'll talk to you when I get home.
Take care. Be safe.
God bless.
You tuned into the Gospel Connection with Bishop Andre Woods. I'm Anthony Howard. You heard Bishop Woods live in Chicago, Illinois, and he attended the 53rd concert given by Pastor Maceo Woods and his choir. What a wonderful time I'm sure they had. And you heard also that the Fellowship of Music and Arts will be rehearsing this Friday at Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. That's on the corner of Mack and Van Dyke. So you do want to attend that. You can come and you can join the Fellowship of Music and Arts. I'm Anthony Howard, in for Bishop Andre Woods on the Gospel Connection. Jesus will bring you joy. See you Saturday on the Gospel Music the Traditional Way, 6 to 8 p.m. right here on this channel. Take care.